Moving terrain of national news and politics, we're keeping a close eye on developments as they unfold and, most importantly, how they impact you. CBS Congressional Correspondent Scott McFarlane joining me live today. Scott, good to be with you.
Hey, Simone. Good afternoon.
All right, let's dive right in. We did mention off the top that a federal judge in D.C. has given the green light for more mass firings of federal workers. However, we're still seeing ongoing efforts to try to slow or even stop those firings nationwide. In terms of lawsuits, what do you think is going to come down the pipeline?
Yeah, so many of these lawsuits are slowing the firings of our local federal workers, but not stopping it. In fact, we just saw a D.C. federal judge, Carl Nichols, allow through the further reductions in the U.S. Agency for International Development. That's our foreign aid workers. Those can now proceed. But you've got all these parallel suits challenging either the cuts, the firings of top officials, or the other executive orders that have drawn so much controversy from the president. And it's those federal workers unions headquartered here in D.C., the National Treasury Employees Union, the American Federation of Government Employees, the National Federation of Federal Employees, all those unions representing federal workers in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia, leading these suits. But I think, Simone, it's best to characterize them as slowing the cuts, not stopping them.
All right. Let's get to a big talker over the last week. Ukraine. President Trump has shocked allies after using Ukraine as starting Russia's invasion and calling Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky a dictator, which was a direct quote. Today, the president admitted that Russia was the attacker, but says it wasn't Russia's fault. Let's take a listen to the sound.
Russia attacked, but there was no reason for them to attack. You could have talked him out. Every time I say, oh, it's not Russia's fault, I always get slammed by the fake news. But I'm telling you, Biden said the wrong things. Zelensky said the wrong things.
All right, so on the other side, Ukrainian envoy Keith Kellogg met with Zelensky this week and today called him a courageous leader. So I'm curious here, what are some of our local senators saying about the shifting of blame from President Trump?
Awful lot of outrage from the Democratic senators from Maryland and Virginia. Think of where we were, Simone, 3 years ago this month when the war just broke out, the Russian aggression in Ukraine became clear, and people had the flags, the Ukrainian flags out their front door, and people were driving down Wisconsin Avenue to the Ukrainian embassy, leaving flowers and gifts at the front door in sympathy and in solidarity. This is a sea change, and one that may not be politically popular for all parts of the country and all Americans. We'll see where this goes next, but at some point, a decision's got to be made by Congress whether to fund anything to Ukraine, and that's where Republicans and Democrats both get their hands on this.
All right. Any minute now, Kash Patel is going to be sworn in as President Trump's pick to lead the FBI. What are you hearing on Capitol Hill about Patel's promise to overhaul the whole organization?
He is already inside the Hoover building today, meeting with staff, meeting with his subordinates now. There is a grave concern from some FBI agents that this is going to be a purge, that he is going to get rid of or reassign or relocate any number of agents. And he's got this list that could get onto his desk at some point that his predecessors were required to compile. The 5,000 or so agents and employees who were part of the January 6th investigation. They're worried about being retaliated against or separated from the agency just for following orders and investigating an insurrection.
All right, just beginning to see the fallout of what this is going to look like. CBS Congressional Correspondent Scott McFarlane, appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.